Guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Jeff the Homestead Dad, and today I'm going to do a quick garden walkthrough. So to start, actually, you know what? Let's start over by the front door first. A couple years ago, I ordered some comfrey cuttings, and I planted those right here in this basket, and it has done amazing. I've done nothing with it, but you can see the flowers are here. I really need to split it such that I can gain more plants or take it out of that container so it can spread, but it's been doing amazing. Next up on the tour, we have the 3 raised beds that we have planted, and now this one is all cool weather stuff. I've got I believe that's kale, chard, spinach, 2 rows of carrots, and then 5 rows of lettuce, and they're doing well. I've started to thin things, and we started to have salads out of it. It's been awesome. This right here is our garlic bed. You can see the weeding has not been done so great here. There's lots of grass in here, but I've done a little bit of weeding. So I'm hoping that we get some decent garlic out of here. The bottom leaves are starting to brown, which means it's starting to get close. And we've had some chickens who found their way up in here, even though I have the fence up. And you can see right down in there, we've got a clutch of eggs that nobody's sitting on, so I need to move it. This is our lemon balm, and then I planted some strawberries around it. The strawberries actually aren't doing as great in this bed as they are in the garden and the boxes. I don't know if they're just not getting enough water, but the lemon balm is going nuts again. I'm going to need to split it and maybe sell some of it or give it away, but you can make teas with this. So, but you can see the strawberries are just kind of, this one's actually putting on a couple flowers here for berries, same there, and there's some around the other side. So these are the raised beds up by the house. This is pretty much all I did for gardening last year because we had the baby in August, and I knew I wasn't gonna have a whole lot of time, so I just did these. Let's head down to the bigger garden that I just tilled up and the location where we're gonna be putting our high tunnel in short order. Guys, so firstly, this is typically where I had my bigger garden. And when I first tilled this up and started planting here, I had a lot more help. I had actually engaged some friends who were interested in doing kind of a community garden. So we planted this whole area, and we planted way more than our family could ever use. Well, people get busy, and I don't have any problem with people getting busy, but people get busy, and it didn't work out. It ended up getting overgrown because I didn't have time to weed the whole thing, and very few people came out after that initial gardening planting stage. So we do have right here, you can see I've pulled out some asparagus here, and you can see maybe down in here, let me, if I show you down over here, there's some asparagus there. This is where the high tunnel is going to go, and it's going to come to about right here, right where this grass is here. There's some asparagus right here still, and there's that asparagus there that is continuing to grow. So I'm just gonna let it be, and if we have asparagus in the high tunnel after we put the high tunnel up, all the better. Hopefully, within the next, by the end of this month, by the end of June, we will have the high tunnel here, and it will be from just inside the fence over here to about 8 feet short on that side. So it'll be a big good place. I can plant some more tomatoes there, and I can also possibly plant a late crop of tomatoes that will hopefully then produce into the fall. I tilled more space on the other side, and I don't know if you can see on the camera, there's a little row along the other side of the orchard that I want to plant some stuff there too. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So there's still more planting that I want to have done in here. But what I did, because I wanted to get stuff in the ground and we didn't have the high tunnel in, is I tilled up this area over here. This area is approximately 40 feet long this way by 20 feet wide this way. Let me turn the camera around and I will show you what I have planted. Okay, so these are the strawberries that I have planted in these boxes so far, and honestly they're looking great in the boxes. I do want to get them out of the boxes and plant them in the ground here, make like 2 or 3 rows from here over. I just haven't done that yet. And right now, you can see right over here, they're already setting berries and getting ready to produce fruit. Here's some extra tomato plants that we have that I need to get in the ground. I'm thinking maybe over here someplace outside of where the hoop house will go. Right here, these are some strawberries that we transplanted from over there where the hoop house is going to be. And then there's 5 raspberries that I bought. So we've got a little patch of raspberries here. There's some cilantro right down here that is starting to come back. I believe this is broccoli. Got my little row of broccoli. And then right in here we have zucchini and cucumbers. So these 2 rows here, this row here, and then a little bit right over there is zucchini and cucumbers. And they're turning a little bit yellow. They were just planted a few days ago. I don't know if they're getting too much water or not enough water, but they're still looking as though they're going to set fruit, because as you can see right down in there, there's a melon, but it looks like the blossom rotted. So I don't know if they're getting blossom end rot. What I need to do, I've added some all-purpose fertilizer to here, organic. So we'll see what happens. Right here, I've got a little section of fence panel up, and on this side from here to here is peas. The other side from here to here is beans. The beans are looking great. The peas are looking meh. So we'll see what happens with that. Here, 1, 2, 3 stakes are watermelon seeds. I planted them in the ground, so hoping that those will start to emerge sometime soon. And then 1, 2, 3 stakes are pumpkin plants. Same thing, hoping that they emerge soon. Oh, there's a butterfly right there. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty. Hi, pretty butterfly. I don't know what kind that is. I'll try to look it up. Okay, over here we've got some vining type cucumbers right here, and then we have more beans along here. Back on this side of this fence panel, I have 5 rows of corn, which you can see are starting to pop up. We got a row there, row there, row there, row there, and row there. So those are starting to pop up. It was the earliest type of corn that I could find that would come up. I think it was like a 55 days till maturity. So we'll see how that goes. Because the animals love corn so much, I may have to put some sort of electric line around the outside as we get closer to harvest time. Then there's 6 sections for the 6 oldest kids. They've planted different things. I don't see anything having yet emerged that they planted. And then here I have 3 rows of tomatoes. So 1 row, 2 row, 3 rows of tomatoes. I've caged some of them. The ones that were falling over more I caged. And then the last row over there is peppers. So we have a row, and I think these rows are like each 13 plants long. And then around the border over here and over here, we had some onions that were given to us. So I planted those. Hopefully I've heard that, on occasion, those can help to keep, critters out because they don't like the smell of onions. Don't know if that's true or if it'll work, but I figured it couldn't hurt. And then right here, we have bush type cucumbers. There's 3 rows of 4, although I think this one here died, so this will be a row of 3 because we love cucumbers. Right there is a grapevine. I need to put up some sort of trellising for that. And then in that load of grass right there that needs to be weeded, there's a grapevine. And right over there, I can come over here and show you, there's another grapevine. So this had been, let me turn the camera back around. So this area, I had a row of grapevines over here, and one here, and one here, and one here. I think at one point I had like 16 grapevines. Didn't go very well. I didn't spend a whole lot of time on them, but these 3 have persevered. They've survived. So I've been setting, you can see the sprinkler there with the hose on it. It gets the whole garden, which worked out perfect because if it had been any longer or wider, that wouldn't have worked. But that waters the entire garden, so happy coincidence. Better lucky than good, right? And it happens to water those grapevines as well, so that works out perfectly. So those beehives over there are the ones that I'd taken from over there. They are not currently, or they do not currently have bees in them, but hopefully at some point they will, and then that will help with the garden as well. So one of the things I wanted to show you is one of my favorite tools for weeding this garden thus far and in the past is, I don't know if you call it a stirrup hoe or a D-shaped hoe. It's this right here. So what you do is you take it, and if you see like some grass or weeds or anything, you kind of push it into the ground like this, and it cuts out. And then when you pull, I can't put pressure on it with one hand, but you can pull back and it just kind of pops the weeds out and cuts them off at the base. Like I said, it's a lot easier when you do it with two hands. So I'm just going to continue to try to weed with this. I will show you how I weed the raised beds up there. It's with a mini version of this, and it has worked really well. I also have this wheel hoe right here that's got a hose on it, so it doesn't want to move. It's under a beam. Come on. There we go. So this wheel hoe right here that has several different attachments. Right now I have the rake gripper on it. So that works well to pull down the middle of rows. Let's take you up and show you the mini stirrup hoe before we leave for the day. Okay, we are back up here at the raised beds. Here is, what do they call it, a hula hoe. I've heard it called a stirrup hoe. This works as well. And hey buddy, how are you? And you can just kind of go down here where you find weeds, and I kind of pull them out and go back and forth, and it just kind of cuts the weeds off at the base. Obviously I still need to pull where there's grass in between, but this works really well for where there's, so like that just popped it out. See? Popped out. I can throw it out in the grass, or we can throw it to the animals. Same thing, it just popped it right out. And there we go.
Some wild carrots.
Those aren't wild carrots, buddy. Those are carrots that we planted, so don't pick them yet because they're not big enough. So this works really well. These raised beds are 2 boards high, so they get high enough where I can just hardly bend over and get it with this mini hula hoe. So it works really well. I could use it for the garlic, but I got to figure out exactly where my rows are, which hasn't happened yet. And then I did use it for here. So I think with just a couple minutes of weeding up here and a couple minutes of weeding down there with the big hula hoe, everything will go really fast, really well. And with the kids' help, I'll be able to keep everything weeded for the year. So if you have any questions, let me know. We are in Michigan, which I think is like 5B, our zone. It is June. This is where we're at. Unfortunately, if I don't put a shade cloth over this soon, this will all probably start to bolt and not grow as well.
It was my birthday 2 days ago.
He had a birthday. He's 6 now, right? So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, like I said, leave them in the comments. If you haven't already, join the Homestead Dad Facebook group and leave pictures of your garden there. I would love to see all of your guys' gardens because I love getting ideas from what other people do, like using the cattle panels for things for beans to grow up and peppers to grow up, and not peppers, cucumbers, peas, all that stuff. I love seeing how people can be creative. So go join there, hit that Facebook or hit the subscribe button. My mind's not working, but thank you guys so much for watching. God bless you and your family, and I will see you guys in the next video.